Hello and welcome back. We're going to discuss our first of the macromolecules. We're going to start out with carbohydrates. All right. Carbohydrates have the basic chemical structure or chemical ratio of CH2O. All right. And last week I gave you one of our first carbohydrates. I gave you C6H12O6, okay? So you can see if you multiply this by 6, that's how you'd get C6H12O6, okay? This is going to be the written form of glucose, all right? But it's not only how many carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens are found in glucose, it's also the number of carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens found in fructose and galactose. All right. If you notice here, each of these ends in OSE. Anytime you see that ending chemically, OSE, you're talking about something that's going to be a sugar. It's going to be a carbohydrate, okay? Now in terms of that, glucose, fructose, galactose each has 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens. But how they're put together is different, all right? And that's what I've got over here. I don't have all 3, I just have as an example glucose and fructose, okay? But if we count up, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. I'll let you count the hydrogens and oxygens on your own if you want to, okay? But if you notice, where the functional groups are attached are different, okay? On glucose, our functional group is over here. Fructose, our double bonded oxygen, is over here, okay? What that is, when you have them arranged different in space, okay, those are known as isomers. So they've got the same chemical components, but in physical space, they're arranged differently, okay? That's going to be true for glucose and fructose. I think in the PowerPoints, I've also got galactose in there so you can see how that's arranged, okay? And what's important about that is having those different isomers and moving around those functional groups imparts different properties on the particular sugar. In this case, glucose is less sweet than fructose just by moving a functional group around, okay? That's why a lot of food industry uses high fructose corn syrup as a sweetener, because high fructose corn syrup, so it's essentially a fructose molecule that is engineered from corn, the carbohydrates associated with corn. That high fructose corn syrup, to our palate, when we taste it, tastes more sweet than glucose. So in the food industry, they can add less fructose to get the same amount of sweet that they would with glucose, okay? Now the other part that's going to be important associated with these isomers, okay, are glucose, fructose, galactose. These are actually going to be our monomers for our carbohydrates, okay? So we've got those 3 monomers, and in terms of that, what we're talking about here, this is a 6-carbon sugar, all right? We are also going to have a 5-carbon sugar, well, really 2 5-carbon sugars that are going to be important when we get to the unit on DNA, okay? And those 5-carbon sugars are going to be ribose and deoxyribose. Okay? So in terms of that, with DNA, you have a sugar molecule that makes up the structure of the DNA that's found within all of the cells of your body. Okay? These are the ones that we're going to be most concerned with. Ribose and deoxyribose. These are also going to be some of your monomers. We're going to hook them together in bigger chains to make polymers, to make them bigger and longer. All right? So in terms of that, when we've got individual sugar molecules, they're the monomers. So this chemical structure here, glucose, this is the monomer. What we're doing when we hook them together, when we hook the monomers together, we're starting to make a chain, okay? So we're making a longer molecule. And in terms of our carbohydrates, if we hook together glucose and fructose, what we are going to make out of that is sucrose. All right? Sucrose, this is table sugar. All right? Because we have one monomer of glucose, one monomer of fructose, we are going to refer to this as a disaccharide. All right? Di meaning two. We've got two monomers hooked together. Saccharide being our sugar. Okay? So again, this is where breaking down words can help a little bit with the understanding of the terms. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here, and then the next video I'm going to continue talking about some additional disaccharides, and I'm also going to talk about some polysaccharides as well. Okay? So thank you for your attention. Let me know if you have any questions.